Hello, fourth graders, and welcome to lesson 2.9. Today we're going to talk more about these multiplicative comparisons, but we're going to add a couple things to what we did yesterday. So I want you to take some time, this might take a little while, for you to read problem A and problem B, and then be ready to tell me how these problems differ, right? What is different about these two problems? All right, what we should have noticed. Let's look at problem A. Bella sold 9 bookmarks. Andrew sold 8 more than Bella. How many did Andrew sell? Well, one of the key words here, I know that Andrew sold more and he sold 8 more, not 8 times more, right? So to solve this problem, I would need to do 8 plus 9 equals 17. But look at problem B. Bella sold 9 bookmarks. Andrew sold 8 times as many. How many did Andrew sell? So Andrew sold more, so our answer is going to go up 9 times 8. Okay, did you notice that? Sometimes we have comparisons that are additive comparisons, comparisons, and you've seen those for a long time, right? But we will need to be able to distinguish when we need to multiply or when we need to add. And so you can see, right? These are called additive comparisons. Problem B is a multiplicative comparison, which is exactly something that we have to do here in our standard. You can see distinguishing, right? That means figuring out how they're different. Multiplicative comparisons from additive comparisons, right? So we need to be responsible for thinking, do I need to multiply? Do I need to add? How will I solve this? So let's look at sample problems of all of these types. During the summer, Jonathan read 5 times as many books as Robert. Robert read 8 books. How many books did Jonathan read? All right, with all of these, the key question that you're going to need to think about is who has more, or in this case, who read more? Who read more books in this case? Was it Jonathan or Robert? Okay, if you look at the question, it said that Jonathan read 5 times as many. So Jonathan read more. So our answer, because we want to know how many Jonathan read, our answer will go up, right? And so our multiplication problem, what should we multiply here? We should multiply 5 times 8 equals, we have our unknown, so we'll say B for books. And 5 times 8, how much is 5 times 8? 40. 40 what? Our answer is not just 40, 40 books. Or in a word problem, we always have to label our answer. All right, let's look at a different type, right? Well, before we do that, we can draw this as a diagram, right? So if we know that Robert read 8, then Jonathan read 5 groups of 8. So we can draw a diagram to represent this, and this is something that you're going to do later as well. So make sure you see how you might represent that. Okay, different. Vaughn lives 14 miles from the mall. Jessica lives 3 more miles than Vaughn. How many miles from the mall does Jessica live? All right, so let's look. Who lives more miles away, right? That's the first question with all of these. Who is more? Okay, Jessica is more. Jessica lives farther from the mall. If you and you really have to know who is more before you try to find the problem. So what do you think we should do in this problem? What should our equation be? Hey, did you say addition? If you did, you're right, because she lives 3 more miles, right? Just 3 more, not 3 times more. So our equation in this problem is 14 plus 3 equals m for miles, like that, right? And so our answer is going to be 17. If we wanted to show that with a diagram, we could start with Vaughn's 14. And now we wouldn't draw 3 of these. This is Vaughn. This is Jessica. She would have 14 and then just three more, right? Not three groups of 14, but just three more to equal 17. All right, one more type of problem like this, a little bit different here. So let's look at this problem. Mr. Garcia is 30. He is three times older than his daughter. How old is his daughter? So first, always ask yourself, who is more? In this case, it's years. Who is older? Hey, Mr. Garcia is older. And so what we have to do, sometimes people see times and they're like, times is always multiply. All right, 30 times 3 equals 90. His daughter is 90. No, 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 right? His daughter is not 90 because Mr. Garcia is older, right? So our answer has to be less than 30. This is why it's so important to think about who is more before you start doing the question. So Mr. Garcia is 30. So our equation here is going to be 3 times not 30, but 3 times something, right? How about y for years? 3 times something equals 30. See how that's different? Okay, sometimes the answer when we see these multiplicative comparisons is going to be smaller than the number that we started with. So 3 times something equals 30. What goes in there? What would make that true? 10, right? His daughter is 10. So in this case, the daughter is 10 and Mr. Garcia is three groups of 10. So we could draw a diagram like that. So we've seen all three types of problems. Yesterday we only saw this type of problem, right? We just grab the two numbers and multiply. However, sometimes it might be an adding comparison, right? So you're going to have to read and think carefully. Sometimes it's multiplying, but we already know the product and we need to find one of the factors. And we do that by being good thinkers, by thinking which one is more before we don't just pick the numbers and start multiplying. We have to think first. Think, think, think. All right. Our goal today to be able to solve multiplicative comparisons, but also distinguish them from additive comparisons, addition problems. So let's take a look at this math journal page. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can all see better. Lesson 2.9, page 55. So you are going to, you have a problem right here. You're going to have to think, which is more? Do I need to multiply? Do I need to add? Do I need to multiply but have one of the factors be missing, right? Maybe my answer gets smaller. Okay, same thing with number 2. When you get down to number 3, this is where you're going to be, in this column, you're going to be writing comparison statements like yesterday, right? So 4 times as many as 7 would equal, right? You know what a multiplication problem will go here. And then the diagrams, just like we were doing today, right? Here's an example of one, okay? But we've been practicing those, and so those will go in those boxes. That is the page today. All right. If you have questions, be sure to reach out to me, and good luck.